Hey guys, Halloween's a little over a month away, so I've decided to put together a quick GoPro video on how to do some makeup. Today we're going to use Smooth On's Ultimate Zombie Kit, which has a lot of goodies in it, which I'll show you later. One of my favorites, their Dragon Skin FX Pro, which is a platinum silicone that can be applied to the skin. And finally, for our mold material, Smoothcast 300Q, Q for quick, so it sets up fast. Let me show you how this is done. So what I've done so far is I've created a really quick and easy paper template. I folded a sheet of paper in half and captured the size and shape of her eye, so I have an approximity of how big it is and what I want to create. You don't have to be a great artist to do this, and this makes it really easy. So we have the sketch of her eye. I've folded my sheet in half so I can cut out a symmetrical paper template. It's not perfect, but like I said before, it doesn't have to be. Now that my piece is cut out, I'm going to place it directly onto my board, and I'm going to grab a Sharpie and use that template to create a rough sketch of the size and shape of her eyebrows and under her eyes. So you have it. You can finish that off with freehand, and you can add some embellishments, scars, any shapes that you would put in there. Let's put a carved X on her forehead. How about that? Okay, now my piece is drawn. I can work with some clay. I'm going to use Sculptex, the soft brand. They come in a medium and a hard. You can pick these up at Reynolds Advanced Materials, any of their locations, or online. I'm going to take the clay and work directly onto my board, using that lined out template for my shape. Try to stretch it out as best as possible. It'll blend into her skin with the flash. Now that I've gotten my shape, I can go in with some tools, add some details, scars, and carve them out. It's looking good. Now to build my mold box. I've pre-cut some black foam core to go directly onto the melamine board around the sculpt. I'm going to glue it down with hot glue. Adding 4 sides to the whole piece. Once your box is together, you want to make sure that all of your edges and all of your seams are secure, so no resin pours out when we pour it in. Yeah, it seems like I got one little piece there. I think that looks great. Okay. Now that my box has been built, I'm going to put on some gloves, because now we're going to work with some chemicals. In this case, universal mold release. This release agent will allow for my resin to release from the mold box, and from my clay, and from the melamine board. Make sure you use it in a well-ventilated area when you spray, which is what I'm doing now. I'm going to spray that completely into my box, making sure that I've reached all my edges, and now I'm going to spread it out with a brush. Great. My release agent applied. I can start to mix my Smoothcast 300Q, which is a very fast curing urethane plastic. So make sure that you're ready to go. I'm going to pour my A and B into separate cups, making sure that I eyeball the volume. Then I'm going to mix them into one cup for my first mix. And in this first mix, make sure you're scraping the sides and the bottom of your container. This way your A and B are well mixed together. And mix that vigorously. You only have 30 seconds to work with 300Q. Now, pouring into my second container, I'm just going to do a really quick mix of the material. I can feel the heat of that material underneath the bucket against my hands, which means I don't have much time. I need to pour this. So here we go. I usually pick one section and give myself an even pour so it settles out. And there we are. Never ceases to amaze me. It's setting up. That's going to take about 4 to 5 minutes to completely set up. I usually give it about 10 to 15 so it cools down because the material is pretty hot. After 10 to 15 minutes, I can demold my box. And it comes off pretty easy because I was able to spray release agent on it. And we have a little bit of clay on our piece, but I'm going to go clean that off. Our mold has been cleaned. There's a few particles on here, but I'm not too worried about that. Not with this application at least. Now we get to work with some Dragon Skin FX Pro, which is a platinum silicone. It's a 1-to-1 mix by volume. And we're going to add some color. This is Smooth On's silicone pigment. We're going to add into our A and B, and then we'll have 2 more cups for our double mix. I'm going to use some tongue depressors. They're really easy to use. When I open up my B, I'm going to pre-mix it a little before I pour. Again, this is a 1-to-1 by volume, so make sure that you're eyeballing how much material you're using. I'm going to do the same with my A. This stuff is great. It's translucent, so it takes color really well. I won't need much silk pig. There we go. And I may have poured a little too much, so let's take some out of my cup. I think that should do it. Great. Now to make some color. Like I said before, this is Silk Pig from Smooth On. It's used for the silicones. Just be careful. You don't need much. You can see how thick rich that color is. You just need a drop. There you go. That's perfect. Excellent. That's all I need. Now to back up that color, I'm going to go in with brown. Again, this is a really strong, rich color. You don't need much, which is a mistake I just made. I put too much on my stick, and now I'm turning my stick around, and as you can see from the handle, that's the excess. I mixed it into my B, and now I'm mixing my A and B together in my first stir. Here's my first mix, scraping the sides and the bottom, making sure A and B are well mixed. I'm going to pour these into my second cup to get a second mix. And once that's mixed, I'm going to pour it into my mold. Just filling those cavities. You won't need much when it comes to scar plates. So you're going to fill those places, and then I'm going to follow that up with a flat piece of plastic or a squeegee I picked up at Home Depot. You want to even out that material onto your mold. And there we go. I have a nice thin film on that mold. This way it'll give me some flash when I demold the silicone. It's been 40 minutes, and now I'm going to use a little bit of baby powder to spread on the surface of my silicone. That'll keep it from adhering to itself as I'm demolding. We'll clean it off later before we put it onto her skin. I'm also going to pour a little bit of that powder into a cup so I can get a little bit right onto the tip of my brush. Not too much, you don't need much. Now I'm going to peel the edge of my silicone and slowly pull that back, chipping away with my brush and a little bit of powder. Again, the powder is just going to help to make sure that the silicone doesn't stick to itself, and makes it a lot easier for me to handle. I'm slowly going to pull that away. Finally, keeping it all intact and beautiful. Alright, look at that. Nice solid piece. I like to keep all of the excess flash, which I can cut away if I need, but it helps to adhere to her skin. It's nice and translucent, so it'll blend in nicely. Here we are. I think we're ready for makeup Mistedville. Okay, so now I've cut my pieces and all the excess flash, cut them in two to fit onto her forehead, and the other piece will fit right under her nose. Now that those are cut, I'm going to adhere them with Skin Tight, which is a silicone adhesive from Smooth On. It's really easy to use. It's a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm also going to use Thivex, which is a silicone thickener, which will allow me to sculpt onto her skin. The makeup that's in the zombie kit, mixing sticks, and cups. All of these items are in the zombie kit. So now that we have those together, we're going to start mixing our Skin Tight, which is a 1-to-1 ratio. I'm just going to eyeball it into a cup and then mix with my mixing stick. What's great about this stuff, it's translucent, so it'll blend right into any work that you're doing with the silicone. Once that is mixed, I'm going to brush it directly onto my appliance in a thin layer. I just want it sticky and tacky enough that I can adhere it. When adhering, I like to work out those edges, trying to blend as best as possible. This stuff is skin safe, so I can just work it in with my fingers. I also like to use the edge of a Q-tip stick, and just roll out those edges. Now that piece is on, we can move on to our second piece using the same method. Slowly working it onto the skin, applying, and rolling out those pieces. This is where I get to use some of the Thivex in my Skin Tight and start sculpting around it. As you can see here, I'm just applying some of that Skin Tight with Thivex and adding to the already cast pieces. Now that's done, I've just added a little bit of Silk Pig, the silicone pigment from Smooth On, into my Skin Tight, and I'm just working it into the silicone piece. Don't need much, and you can let your imagination run wild. I'm also going to use the makeup from the zombie kit or you can use any makeup on this piece. I've added a little bit of blood, some scars, and I think we're ready. Say good night.
Good night.
Good night. Thanks for hanging out.